Denver police say 4 young adults are responsible for the killing of a refugee community leader who was hit by a stray bullet. Ma Kang was unloading groceries when she was shot by teenagers that police say are involved in a gang. Police are still trying to identify a 5th suspect.
9 News reporter Kelly Rinke talked to community members who say today's arrests aren't enough.
Playgrounds at New Freedom Park remain quiet in an East Colfax neighborhood that residents say feels unsafe.
What we see this is the failure of the city to invest in one of the poorest neighborhoods in our city.
It's here where police say multiple people fired at a car on July 15th. The bullets hit buildings, cars, and Ma Kang.
We would love to see this tragedy lead to a heightened awareness of what it means when a city neglects a neighborhood.
Brendan Green leads the East Colfax Community Collective, a group of diverse residents and businesses. He's glad to hear Denver police have arrested 4 people in Ma Kang's death, but he wants more done to make his community a safer place to live.
We see a systemic poor response time to 911 calls in our neighborhood. We are lacking in basic community amenities in our neighborhood. We're one of the only neighborhoods in Denver that lacks both a recreation center and a public library.
He says kids need places to go. Denver police believe this shooting was gang-related. Officers found 3 dozen shell casings. All 4 suspects are 18 to 20 years old. Police think a 5th person was involved, but they don't know who.
To fix it, we need an aggressive approach from the city to provide us with the resources and the amenities that our neighborhood needs.
Brendan is hoping to see these investments soon, so parks don't sit empty anymore. DPD says they have increased the amount of uniform and undercover officers in this area. Earlier this month, the department said they also redirected a camera from another neighborhood to this one. Alex.
One thing about the folks who live in this East Colfax neighborhood, they're being loud about this.
Yes, they've had several community meetings since Ma Kang's death, so they want to keep the conversation going and tell the city that they want change soon.
Perhaps they will affect it. We'll see. Kelly, thank you. Teachers and sports staff in Denver Public Schools are negotiating new contracts. For teachers, it's the first time back at the bargaining table since the end of their strike in 2019. The district is holding another round of negotiations this week. The Denver Classroom Teachers Association is pushing for smaller class sizes and more prep time and 12% pay bumps to cover cost of living. The Union for Office Support Staff says all their negotiations are going well, except that pay part. They want the district to bump up their starting pay so it's even with paraprofessionals and other support staff.
We're burning people out. We know the field of education is losing employees at a very quick pace, and that is not just teachers. That's in all facets, and it is also office professionals.
The district says its pay offers are competitive and its classroom sizes are some of the lowest in the metro area. The teacher's contract expires tomorrow. DCTA says the goal is to finish negotiations by then.
A Republican commissioner in Douglas County claimed to have the votes to kick Pridefest out of the county fairgrounds. Well, now it appears Commissioner George Teal is all alone in his quest. So Pridefest happened at the Douglas County Fairgrounds over the weekend, and during a drag show, a performer's costume slipped and revealed a plastic chest plate. We should mention toplessness is not illegal in Colorado, and even when toplessness was illegal, a plastic chest is not toplessness. Anyway, Commissioner Teal says that claims now that the show violated zoning rules. Pridefest organizers apologized for the wardrobe malfunction, but insisted they're not going to get run out of town.
It puts a damper on the celebration, but we're resolved in continuing, and we don't believe that we violated any zoning laws like he's stating. Regardless of whether or not we're at the fairgrounds, we will be having a 2023 Pride Fest.
Attorneys have noted a ban on an LGBTQ event like Teal is proposing would quickly prompt a lawsuit against Douglas County. But at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like Teal has the votes that he claimed. Commissioners Laura Thomas and Abe Layden told us they'd never discussed this with him, and Layden ruled it out entirely. Teal did not respond to our questions.
A man accused of shooting and killing 3 people and hurting 8 others at a Planned Parenthood in Colorado Springs is back in court this week. Prosecutors are trying to get a judge to force Robert Deere to take medication they say will make him competent enough to stand trial. Deere is facing charges in both state and federal court. Both cases have been on hold for years because he has repeatedly been found not competent to stand trial. A prison psychologist told the judge Deere is refusing to take any medications. Today in court, Deere interrupted the hearing to say that taking the medication was against his religion and that they want to turn him into a zombie. The hearing is set to wrap up tomorrow.
Boulder County will not be able to immediately enforce most of its new gun laws. Today, a judge granted a temporary restraining order that was filed by Rocky Mountain gun owners. That's the far-right gun rights group to the right of the NRA. Earlier this summer, the county and a few cities there passed ordinances banning the sale of so-called assault weapons and large-capacity magazines. RMGO challenged those laws in Superior, arguing that they violated the Second Amendment. After a judge agreed to put Superior's laws on hold, the group sued the county, along with the city of Boulder and Louisville. Today's ruling only impacts the county, but the city of Boulder says it will also hold off on enforcing its laws while it tries to coordinate a defense with the other cities. The cities and the county want to consolidate the lawsuits into one so the single judge can rule on the laws.
A man convicted of attempted murder this week is facing new charges after attacking the person he tried to kill a second time. This time, it was in the courtroom. Yesterday, a jury decided Daniel Ayala was guilty of attempted murder and assault tied to a hit-and-run crash last summer. He intentionally ran into a man walking his dog. The victim survived and testified during the trial. That's when police say Ayala jumped up from behind the defense table and hit that victim multiple times right there. He'll face new charges for that attack. Ayala will be sentenced in the hit-and-run case in October.
When Colorado legalized human composting last year, it opened up a new option for people to dispose of their remains after death. The process uses natural materials to break down a body and turn it into soil. 9 News reporter Mark Salinger introduces us to the family of one of the first people to go through the process that's giving new life around the world.
I don't know if I need them though.
Every walk
Like 3 blocks.
brings a family
But I said no. Wah, wah, wah.
closer together.
I know, I think we should go that way. Can you hold my hand? While we're crossing the street?
Carrie
So
Davis
let's go that way.
and her daughter Kira come to their neighborhood park in Arvada
Ah! Ooh, there's a bee on that one. Ha!
to be with someone they love.
Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. This is Andy's tree. And it's decorated for his birthday because his birthday will be this Sunday. Would have been this Sunday.
Carrie's husband Andy passed away last November.
Your balloons fell down.
Not even the leukemia that took his life can stop them from celebrating his birthday.
Like in this book. He loved the outdoors. He loved snowboarding. He loved craft beer. He loved being a father to our daughter Kira.
Andy
So he was a
died at
stay-at-home father,
42.
once we moved
What he
out.
chose to do with his body will ensure it lives on in new ways.
Andy was the 5th person in the state of Colorado to be composted. Yes.
Human composting became legal in Colorado last year. As Andy battled cancer, Carrie asked him what he wanted to do when the time came.
It means he was naturally reduced. He was put in a vessel with lots of natural ingredients to help speed along the decomposition process. And after, I think, 3 to 4 months, he was a cubic yard of soil that people could use to bring life to other things. Just lift it this way.
The soil created from Andy's remains now sits in Carrie's garage,
We call it Andy's soil.
waiting for friends and family to take it and plant new life.
I love that. We could share Andy with other people.
Andy still grows close to home.
This tree is special because it was planted with Andy's soil.
Of all the trees in the park,
It will always be a special park for sure.
only one brings a family closer together.
Instead of visiting a cemetery or a grave site, we can visit a tree in a park around the corner from our house.
Andy's soil is being used to plant flowers and trees all over the country. At his celebration of life, his family gave out the soil with the intention that people can take him back home and grow life wherever they live. State law says you can only grow flowers, plants, or trees. Kyle, no food.
I'm glad that we followed up on this process after the first couple of folks we found out were going through the composting process to now see the way that it's impacted family and friends. It really is meaningful.
I've done several stories on this, and seeing that tree, you know, his daughter being able to go up to it and decorate it with happy birthday signs, it's a tangible thing to remember somebody that they love. And I think that's what's so special about this.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark.
I've literally been here an hour. I went up every aisle and down every aisle.
They couldn't even walk in the store for 8 months following the fire. Today's reopening helped some get a sense of normalcy.